Good evenings, hello my loves, Marhaba, habibetey. So time for another, I'm going to call these health chats, I think, because randomly as I'm going through this health related journey, thoughts occur to me and I feel like sharing them with you. So I can give you like a bit of an update on what's happening with me, but it's mainly to chat on whatever theme is listed down in the title. So I kind of hit a plateau recently weight-wise, and it sent me on a weird spiral emotionally, and I've been thinking a lot about it and thinking about what it is that's bugging me, what it is I want to talk about, what it is I want to tell myself. And so I think I finally yesterday as I was running, one of the reasons I love to run is that when I run my mind kind of goes clear and I like have those little aha light bulb moments on things I'm working on, things I'm thinking about, things. So I had one of those yesterday and I realized that I need to break up with my scale. That's basically what it comes down to. So we just recently passed my birthday, and I had put in my mind a target to get to 200 pounds by my birthday, and I didn't quite hit that. So when I'm filming this now, which is not when you're going to see it, I'm filming this on the 8th. I don't think you're going to see it for another 10 days or so. I'm still at about 208, and I was hoping that by the 13th I would be down to 200, and that's just not going to happen. And I started to realize these weird things, like every time I would go to the nutritionist, because I go to her once a week and she would weigh me, I would like get really upset and my whole day would get thrown off. My ideas of body image were getting really distorted. Like I was fixating on like parts of my body that I wasn't happy with instead of focusing on the parts that were getting strong. Like I was still seeing that improvement like in my arms or my legs or whatever, I was being happy, but it was being outweighed by how much I was feeling down about other parts of my body. And I realized that I was beginning to have worse self-image and worse self-love for my body than I was when I was 40 pounds heavier. And I was like, okay, we got to pull this back and figure out what's going on. And what I realized was happening in my mind, and I need to stop, is that as much as I was saying this was all about health and only about the numbers that mattered, which is the pressure in my eyes, which is what prompted the whole, weight loss thing to begin with, finding balance, eating better, nourishing my body, all that kind of stuff. While I said that, as long as I was still getting on that scale and as long as I was still setting targets to lose X amount of weight by X date, I was still fixating on the weight. And I was still fixating to some extent on getting thin versus getting healthy. And I think that fixation on the thin happens in part because you're getting on that scale and you go, well, I worked so hard, I ate right, I worked out X amount of times, why am I not seeing the results? Especially if you're a results driven person, that's enough to drive you mental. But the second thing is that as a society, and this is sometimes I underplay, we value being thin really heavily. So every time I would see people that I'd seen, like not every day, but sort of friends or family or coworkers or something, you know what I mean, people that hadn't seen me, and the kind of really strong positive reinforcement you got for, oh my God, you're looking so great, what are you doing, tell me your secrets, like just you get treated in a whole different way. And this is not a video about changing social norms or changing societal behaviors or any of that kind of stuff. It's just a realization that I had, and I'm like, well, no one is asking you, what have you been up to this week? Oh, well, I woke up at 5 a.m. every day and went to the gym and I've been cooking healthy. Oh, that's nice. Like no one celebrates those healthy decisions, but they will celebrate very actively and very vocally you losing weight. That does not mean to say in any way, shape, or form that I don't want any of you or any of my friends in real life or my family to like stop telling me those things. I'm not, no one, it's like, oh, you look pretty. Well, really? Well, we shouldn't judge a girl by how pretty she looks. You know what I mean? Like that's not the argument here. I think it's nice to compliment people. Good positive energy is always a good thing. But when the fixation in general around you that you're not really maybe actively paying attention to is that thin is good, period, then you start fixating on getting thin and not getting healthy. Because I am now much healthier than I was when I weighed 70 pounds lighter than I do right now, but that never gets celebrated. So in some ways you can downplay it, right? I was much unhappier when I was that thin too. Like it's this whole thing. So I'm getting super off track. But what I'm trying to say is that as much as I lied to myself in saying that the weight as a number wasn't affecting me, it kind of was. So I've decided that the best way to go about things, at least for the next month or so, is I'm going to break up with my scale because I am more interested in building strength and building muscle, especially leading up to my race at the beginning of May, and in terms of finding better mental balance and calm. I'm more wanting to build muscle than I am to lose weight. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to get off the scale. I'm not going to weigh myself for the next month. I will not. I'm promising you guys. I'm not going to do it. I'm also, when I go to the nutritionist, I'm going to tell her that we're going to stop with the weighing. I'm happy to do like measurements because I think that's actually, you know, when they measure sort of all the different, your arms, you're like there are actual spots that you're supposed to measure or whatever. You can measure whatever you want, technically. But it's like biceps and thighs and all that kind of stuff. Because I honestly do see difference in definition. I'd rather celebrate those milestones. Like, look how much leaner you got here. You're building muscle here. Like, I'd rather do it that way. And I'm actively going to shift my focus and stop lying to myself. So when those thoughts of like specifically looking a certain way or weighing a certain weight creep up, instead of sort of ignoring them to the back, I'll bring them to the front, deal with them, be like, okay, think about this. Is it worth spiraling on? What are we doing? Is this leading you towards a healthier lifestyle or just towards losing X amount of weight and going from there? So yeah, these videos are always super rambly. I hope some of this resonated with some of you. My favorite part of these videos always, though, is reading the comments and chatting with you guys down below because you always have such beautiful stories and insight and thoughts to share. So let's continue on with that discussion down below. But I just, I had a moment where I realized that I'd been lying to myself about how much I was letting the weight affect me. And I'm done. I'm done. I was thinking about doing because I'm headed off to Vegas in a couple days. Again, when you watch this, I will have come and gone. But I was going to do like a side-by-side picture of last time I was in Vegas and then this time. And I'm a lot heavy. I was a lot heavier then. But what I wanted to point out in that picture was how much my smile was still bright then than it is now. A lot of people do those side-by-side videos, pictures and say, look, she was unhappy, she was depressed, the weight was getting to her. The weight wasn't getting to, like, that's the thing, is that I was happy and I had good self-worth. And while I'm proud of all the healthy lifestyle choices I'm making now, because I realize in hindsight that they were hurting me, they just hadn't caught up to me, the unhealthy life decisions, you know, not working out, not fueling my body properly. While I'm happy of all that I made, I want to recapture the self-esteem and the self-worth and the positive body image I had even when I was heavier. So, yeah, I've just realized things I didn't think were ever going to be the case. I never thought that I could be happier and feel more awesome in my body being heavier than I am now. That being said, I'm not going to go back to putting on the weight. I'm happy with the lifestyle choices that I'm making, but I want the focus to be on health and balance and not specific weight loss. So anyways, I've rambled on, but let me know if any of this resonated. Share all your thoughts down below. Let's do some quick points of positivity and we will be done. My first point of positivity is having this moment, because I spent the last 10 days like not running, not being as happy running, not being as happy in general, feeling lethargic, and I couldn't figure out what it was that was bugging me. So finally figuring it out and being able to vocalize it has made me feel like a weight has been lifted off my chest. And yeah, there's a pun in there somewhere. And that's making me super, super happy. My second point of positivity is you guys. Like, you provide me with this outlet to share and in which you support me and in which I'm so grateful. On those mornings I really don't want to wake up and go to the gym, I hear all your voices cheering me on. When my legs start to hurt at the end of a long run, I remember all of you telling me how you've gone out and started running again, and I'm just inspired and humbled. So thank you, and that has been a huge source of positivity. And then my third point of positivity is watching some more geeky movies. So we just finished 1989 version of Batman with Michael Keaton last night. There is a scene, if you have seen that movie, there is a scene in which Jack Nicholson as the Joker is dancing on top of a float, and I was just telling Noelle this morning, I'll link Noelle's channel down below, I was just telling her this morning that I want like a permanent video roll of that whole scene playing over and over, because as bad as things get, if I could see that, I will never not laugh. So I need that in the background always. Anyways, I'm gonna head out, but I just yeah, I wanted to sit and chat with you guys. Thank you for hanging out. As always, please share with me what's making you guys smile. I will see you ever so soon. But before I leave you, as always, let me remind you that life is just way too short to wear boring lipstick. Bye guys.